Range Revolution is the world's first verifiably regenerative leather luggage company. Their purpose is to transform the United States consumer leather goods supply chain to regenerate the health of the soils and the entire chain of production. They provide consumers with an easy option to buy transparent and traceable luxury items that are net positive for people and the planet, creating a true representation of American craftsmanship. Co-founders Kate Havstad and Claire Everson are here to explain what all of that means. Claire and Kate, come on up.
Hello, Edco. Hello, Ben. Thank you so much for having us here. If I get short of breath, I'm going to blame the human that is punching me from the inside. My name is Kate Havstad-Kasad. I am an entrepreneur. I am a regenerative farmer, and I am a master hatter. I am the co-founder of Range Revolution, which I am here to talk to you about today. Range Revolution is a luxury leather luggage company which is sourcing 100% of its leathers from a verifiably regenerative supply chain. Range Revolution is the first of its kind in the world of leather luggage. We will be the first to market with 100% traceable and transparent leathers backed by scientific data, gaining the trust of our consumers. A little bit more background on me. I am the founder of Havstad Hat Company, which is an internationally recognized institution in the world of luxury hats. My clients are based all over the globe and include photographers, videographers, musicians, actors, and just your basic consumer who appreciates a well-crafted good. I am also the co-owner of Kasad Family Farms. We are a certified organic and regenerative farm. We began as a 5-acre direct-to-consumer organic farm, and we have grown into being one of Central Oregon's largest producers of organic foods. We now manage over 300 acres regeneratively.
Hello, my name is, thank you, Kate. My name is Claire Everson, and I am also an entrepreneur and a business owner. I split my time between Central Oregon and Boise, Idaho, and I am the founder of Western Rain Creative. Western Rain Creative is a strategy and design firm that is focused on creating solutions for small businesses based on a living systems thinking. I work with business owners and craftsmen all across the Intermountain West to help them better balance what I call is their business ecosystem. So we get together and we create solutions that are regenerative for them that ultimately end in healthier outcomes for everyone that's involved in their business. Kate and I have been working together on projects for about 7 years. And then in the last 2 years, I came in to Havstad with her to create some of these systems, and we've had really incredible results. So this year, we are both putting our heads together to start Range Revolution.
So the products that Range Revolution is creating, they are the everyday staples that we all desire. The perfect large tote bag, a weekender duffel, a briefcase, and a rolling suitcase. While there are other companies making leather bags, none of them are offering the options to consumers that are fully transparent, from a fully transparent supply chain. That is actually a net benefit for the planet. The first product we are launching is the Western Weekender, which we brought with us. This innovative design is the first of its kind. It has an internal mechanism which pops up to hold a hat safely for travel, and it includes enough space to pack some clothes, your boots, a laptop, and your toiletries. We're launching this fall very strategically with this product in order to capitalize on the international customer base that we've already built with Havstad Hatco. From there, we'll then introduce 3 more designs, which we already have in the queue. We are through our sampling phase with the Western Weekender, and we are now in conversations with a few different manufacturers in the United States. One of those is actually a Ben startup, and it is our ultimate goal to manufacture as much as possible right here in Central Oregon and reinvest in this community. So Range Revolution's customer base is the same sort of luxury customers that we have gotten to know so well through Havstead Hat Company. These customers are increasingly looking for sustainable luxury options as the realities of climate change are opening eyes and changing industries like fashion and soft goods. The Western Weekender will retail for about $1,200, and we will be launching this fall with pre-sales direct to consumer through our website and social media. And then this December, we're taking the product to Cowboy Christmas, which is a sales event in Las Vegas, which attracts 67,000 shoppers over 10 days, and it is our target audience for this product. So, why should we care about leather? First, I need to explain why we must care about our rangelands. I could talk about this topic for the next several hours. As I give you the cliff notes of what's been years of learning from experts in this field, please do ask me any questions after. So rangelands make up 54% of our Earth's land mass, and they are our largest opportunity to sequester carbon and help reverse climate change. But the key to managing the health of these ecosystems is ruminants. Cattle, sheep, and bison are a few examples of ruminants. The rangelands and these ruminants co-evolved, and when they're managed holistically, their grazing actually increases photosynthesis, and that is the process which pulls carbon out of the atmosphere and stores it in the soil. The recent industrialization of our food system has certainly given cattle a bad rap. While the feedlot model of production is absolutely degenerative, I know firsthand through my experience in managing landscapes in these arid regions that the planned holistic grazing of ruminants is really our key tool in improving the health of those ecosystems and sequestering more carbon. So, this is where the key partnership with the Savory Institute comes in. The Savory Institute is a global network which provides education tools and resources to help land managers better manage their landscapes more holistically through planned regenerative grazing. The Savory Institute has developed what is called the EOV protocol, that stands for Ecological Outcome Verification. This system monitors landscapes and is actually measuring carbon sequestration, water cycle efficiencies, biodiversity, and just overall soil health. So producers who are EOV certified are able to sell their raw products through this new supply chain called land to market. This is the exclusive supply chain that Range Revolution is purchasing its leathers through. So in this way, you've got this land to market supply chain, which is backed by the data of EOV, and that's what provides transparency in the raw materials that can differentiate them in the market. This transparent supply chain will allow Range Revolution to communicate with consumers with confidence that the products they are purchasing support regeneration and actually combat climate change. So Range Revolution will be the first luggage company giving consumers the options that they are demanding: transparency and climate beneficial leather goods.
So let's talk about the market opportunity for Range Revolution and our MVP product, the Western Weekender. We know that land to market is already attracting big companies and has created partnerships already with brands like Timberland, Epic Provisions, Eileen Fisher, UGG, and Kering, which is the house management brand for luxury brands such as Gucci, Alexander McQueen, and Saint Laurent. We also know that the ethical fashion industry is expected to grow from 6.1 to $9.8 billion in the next 4 years. And we're looking at a 2019 study by IBM and the National Retail Federation found that 70% of US consumers and Canadian consumers care about their products and want them to be either sustainable or eco-friendly. In addition, we know that 80% want to know where their products come from, and they're willing to pay a premium for this. And lastly, 70% of the respondents said that they would pay an average of 35% more for products that were eco-friendly. So big companies are taking note because the market already shows demand for a change in how we produce and sell consumer goods. So what about leather and luxury and luggage? Range Revolution will be entering a global luggage market that is estimated to be worth $55 billion in the next 3 years. Luxury leather accounted for 15% of all luxury items that were sold in 2019 and is expected to grow from a $48 to a $64 billion industry in the next 5 years. In addition, we are on the precipice of passing the largest infrastructure bill this country has ever seen, with bipartisan support that includes over $300 billion for US-supported manufacturing. In that $300 billion is $20 billion for creating regional innovation hubs that support community-led projects. So this could be Central Oregon. This could be Central Oregon manufacturing and Central Oregon jobs. Slowing down here. So, for context, consumers want transparent goods from brands, and they're willing to pay more for it. Also, the political climate has never been more ripe for supporting American manufacturing. I think that we are going to continue to see large corporations and organizations struggle to find one-off solutions for supply chain issues that are ultimately slow-moving and reactionary to consumer demands and disruptions in the market like COVID-19. This is our advantage as a startup that's building a regenerative supply chain. So logically, you can't create regenerative solutions and circular economies with top-down thinking, and yeah, period. So, how do we create circular business models that create healthy outcomes for everybody involved? Kate and I think that the best way is to start by identifying where our most pressing issues intersect, and then start creating solutions brick by brick. Range Revolution is our solution. And I didn't mean for that to rhyme, but we are building a regenerative company that is already attracting partners and consumers that are aligned with our mission, because we are addressing the connectivity of the problems that we are all sharing. Our products are literally solutions to everybody in the supply chain and our target market. So we are confident that our luxury leather goods will provide consumers with the opportunity to invest in American craftsmanship that builds robust supply chains within this country and creates circular economies that create healthy outcomes for everybody involved. So if you're interested in building robust supply chains with Range Revolution, we are here looking for mission-aligned investors that can help us round out our $300,000 fundraising goals. In addition, Kate and I have a lot of experience running a small business. We are looking for mentorship with anybody who has experience on the financial side of running a larger business, especially with US manufacturers. Kate?
So, if I had one ask, I would like you to think on this quote from Albert Einstein, which I return to often. We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. If we continue with business as usual, scientists say we will be at 450 parts per million of carbon in the atmosphere in 17 years. This is something I think about quite a lot. We simply can't afford to continue with business as usual. So I ask we all consider, how are we building, investing in, or supporting business models that are actually building regenerative supply chains? And we can begin now with every investment we make, every product we design, every business we launch. I'm very optimistic, for I see here a whole community of people who are ready to innovate and are up to the task. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That got me all worked up, guys. What's happening? It's a beautiful bag, and I know this has been in the works for a while. Did you really just come up with this because like there's no way to properly travel with a hat?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, no, I started designing this and building this, I thought, for Hatco. And just simply, there are no options on the market for a nice travel luggage piece which will protect your hat. And so, yeah, started designing this with a designer here in town, Ryan. And when I started designing it, I knew it had to live up to the ethos that I live the rest of my life by. And I started digging into how to find leathers, how to find materials I wanted to use, and there's just not many options. And then I fell in with the Savory Institute, and I started learning about land to market. And I realized that this project is a lot bigger than just one product. Yeah.
So good. And give us just a little taste of when you say like net positive for people and the planet, like what are you specifically talking about?
Yeah, I mean, the net positive really comes from the raw materials. So, you know, there are degenerative systems of production and there are regenerative systems of production. So the actual raw materials are coming from a way of managing livestock that are actually improving our landscapes and improving the lives of the stewards of those landscapes. And then our mission to manufacture as much as possible here in the United States. We're fortunate to be in a luxury market where we can price this in a way in which we can do American manufacturing and pay people a good living wage.
All right, Merry Christmas, everyone. All right, any questions from the audience? I'm like, I want 3 of them. Yes. In the back, and then I'll come to you. Would a regenerative leather bag be better than a vegan bag in terms of the regenerative aspect of this?
That's a really awesome question. People would argue both ways. It depends on the material that's making the vegan product. Honestly, a majority of the vegan materials are petroleum-based. So I would say, yeah, if the leathers are coming from a system that is regenerative. Majority of leathers on the market are coming from either feedlot models, which is why we feel it's so important to have like full transparency. Like we're working with 3 ranches and we can tell you exactly where it's coming from, and then we can show you the data because of the EOV system of their regenerative outcomes. So it's like, they're both bad. If it's leather from a feedlot model production, or if it's a petroleum-based vegan product, it's pretty damaging, which leads to a lot of deforestation, stuff like that.
Don't even get her started on the Beyond Burger. Okay, you had a question. How can you secure your supply chain? Do you see any challenges in securing that supply chain over multiple years?
You know, Kate and I are both new to this, but the biggest thing that we've started from the very beginning is building relationships. So, I mean, this starts with building relationships with the farms and the ranches that are growing regeneratively on their property. We're kind of just figuring it out as we go, but one of our goals is to manufacture as close to us as we possibly can, because we know that distance just creates more time, more lag, more miscommunication, all of that kind of stuff. So, like I said, we are working with a startup here in Bend. We are also talking to manufacturers in Boise, Washington. I think that's it.
And was that mainly, did you mean the manufacturing or like the raw materials? So yeah, raw material wise, the plan and our projections for growth are very much based around this concept of growing within planetary boundaries, not in spite of them. So we've actually set our growth goals like very moderately because we are growing with land to market. So this supply chain is young, it's growing. In Central Oregon, we have 3 ranches that are currently EOV ranches, but I see that growing. So right now, we're sourcing from whoever we can in that EOV system, but that system is growing. Like, I'm pretty sure this year, our scientist from the EOV system is here. How many more ranches and farms on the West Coast joined this year?
Well, I think we have about 45 total, and I think 10 have joined so far, but it's growing exponentially at this rate.
Growing
Yeah.
exponentially. So 45 total, 10 just recently joined.
That's just West Coast producers, so yeah.
And I think you had a question. Did it get answered?
Oh, I was curious, like,
So like as a customer, when you pay for it, or
Manufacturing.
Okay.
So like aggregating hides. Sure.
what's the turnaround on how you're putting money out to when you're actually able to go to market? Cash conversion
Well,
cycle.
So to be determined, because we're just right now working with our manufacturers. So we're through sampling. As far as the leathers go, I placed my first order for the leathers, or I started aggregating them probably about 4 months ago. So it's a patient, it takes time to aggregate the materials.
Yes.
Could you give us a Reader's Digest version of what regenerative ranching means?
Reader's Digest, huh?
Yeah.
Reader's short version of what regenerative means. Reader's Digest is pretty thick, actually. Yeah. Okay.
Good challenge. Okay, there's one of my favorite farmers. He put it this way. Regenerative is a system in which you're creating, it's a living system in which you're creating the inputs that you need out of the operations or the outputs that you're giving onto the land. So that concept of like circularity. You are creating more life than you are taking from a system. Regenerative.
Yes. If you see a Reader's Digest, I want to. I haven't seen one of those in like 3 decades, maybe. You really got me going down a whole trail here. Okay, yes, Erin. Okay, say anything about science that she wouldn't let you put in the original pitch. The audience is ready for it.
She could go on forever.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say about the science. Like, just that I live it every day. So it's interesting because I end up in these circles where animal agriculture is often demonized. And I do understand where people are coming from because we've seen really poor models of it. But as an organic, I mean, we're just like hippies doing like permaculture and like really influenced by biodynamics. Now regenerative is like this word people are getting more familiar with. And there is no way to do that without animal agriculture. Like, humans are kind of the only species that remove and segregate plants and animals. Like, it is a living system that synergistically supports one another when managed holistically.
Okay, I think we got one more. Ann.
What is your plan to educate as you go? Because that's like, it seems like the education piece is huge for what you guys are doing.
What is your plan to educate as you go? Because that seems to be a really big piece of this.
We're working on a video right now. I find that that's a really like enticing way to grab people and say a lot quickly through visuals. And then honestly, just being super transparent with the EOV data. And there's like photos year to year where you can see a single pasture go from desertifying to actually becoming quite abundant just because of the presence of animals. So just photos and data and video and getting more comfortable speaking.
Yeah. You are doing great. I mean, thank you for not going into labor. Yeah, like huge. I have to say, it really, I followed along from the very first couple of hats, and I just think you are incredible, and I love your partnership with Claire. You just are so inspiring, and it's amazing to have you standing up here speaking about something that maybe a couple years ago felt really like dreamy and like aspirational, and it's like, no, actually, I would cuss if I could. We're doing this. We're actually doing this, and it's working, and it's providing all these benefits, and that's a sexy bag.
Thank you.
Okay, like you take that thing to the airport, you're gonna get noticed. All right, I think that we could probably ask you questions all night, so I'll let people connect with you after. Thank you so much, Kate and Claire.
Thank you, Edco.